my number figured out, a motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, if I lose the fight, I still rage against the light. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Have I become a little too shy for love? I've been hurt before, all's fair in love and war. So I snuggle up close to the shell I'm living in, and if I let you in, another round begins. No, I'm spinning in a vicious cycle, I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side.
Should I be scared? The feeling's so different.
Hey, Chad, hope you're having a great Friday. We'll be getting right into that here in just a minute.
But when the wind blows, will I tumble or sail away? Or would you have me stay? And what if I escape? I know
I'm spinning in a vicious cycle, I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? And what if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side. I need you by my side. I need you by my side.
Yeah. Hey man, you ever felt unstoppable? That's the team, right? I said, welcome to the new world. Welcome to the new world. Hey, yo, Jai got it. What if I told you?
Welcome in to this fantastic Friday. There's something that I've got to address, I guess, kind of right off the bat. I think this needs a little bit of attention. I don't want to give it too much because I think that's exactly what this person is wanting. But anyway, so let's just let's get into this. So I woke up this morning to this tweet from Miss Hannah Clark, and this was about a creator that I covered back a couple of videos ago or something like that. I think it has been, but anyway, she put this out there. This is a screenshot from my real active, as you can tell, Instagram page, which I just don't use. But anyway, Miss Genevieve Simmons screenshotted and put this up there saying, Riverter's now taking it upon himself to stalk my Instagram. This middle-aged freak has a history of doing this, most specifically towards those who are significantly younger. Please report him. So she's, I guess, trying to get me deplatformed. Hell, I don't know. I don't stalk her on Instagram. I think that's quite obvious. I don't even use my Instagram, quite honestly. So there's just not a whole lot that, and then she went on further to say, she goes, if something happens to me, you know who to blame. So I guess now she thinks I'm, I don't know. I guess she thinks maybe I'm trying to I don't know. But I just want to reassure Miss Simmons that she is in no danger from me directly or indirectly. Listen, I'm just this harmless old man who likes to laugh at people who do stupid things. And you said some stupid things and did some stupid things. I laughed, made a couple of suggestions that maybe you needed to stop doing that kind of stuff. Hell, I even extended, an offer to buy you a meal, and maybe a nice glass of wine, and just kind of chill out and relax. That offer still stands, by the way. I mean, even though you're trying to deplatform me and I guess accusing me of trying to do something heinous towards you, which I'm not, but whatever. I hope she gets the help she needs, because I think it's quite obvious that she's a little bit touched. I am in the podcast Discord. There is a new there's a new voice channel there called stream or new whatever we call it, section called stream channels. And then if you want to, if you want to talk to me whatever about anything that we discuss today, you can hop in the waiting room. I'll drag you up and we can converse. Anyway, let's get into the whole purpose today. Last stream we kind of reviewed and was looking at some 1980s dating profile videos that they did, and so everybody seemed to kind of enjoy this, enjoy that type of content. So I went digging and I found another one. Now, this one is it's a little bit before my time even. This is from circa 1959, and this was a video that was showed to students in school. So anyway, and the title of the video is the Trouble with Women. So anyway, let's take a look at this, and let's have a few yucks, and we'll see we'll see what happens here, because I found this video amusing, and I thought you guys might as well.
No, Betty, that's wrong. Let me show you again. You use this control to get your focus, you see? All right, and this one here in the right-hand corner to lock the sweep.
Now, just for those who may not know, Orson Welles, you like cocktails and long walks on the beach? Well, cool deal, man. I like cocktails. I can't do real long walks on the beach. I got real bad knees, but a little stroll wouldn't be too bad, I guess. But anyway, this device that he's showing this young lady how to adjust, whatever, is an oscilloscope. I know this because 100 years ago, when I first started getting into IT and went through school, we used oscilloscopes. You could use it to check for voltages. You could use it to check for signals. Primarily, it was to be able to trace and make sure, especially if you were dealing with radios and radio signals, to make sure that certain frequencies were getting where they needed to get. And so it was kind of neat to see one of these, because I haven't actually used or touched one of them since probably about the early 1990s.
There we are. Now let's try it again.
Oh, there's someone here to see you. Are you Mr. Bradshaw, the foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Donnelly up in personnel said for me to give you this card. I'm your new bearings inspector.
Oh?
Oh, bearings inspector.
Oh, well, I'll be with you in just a minute. No, one at a time. Well, I'll be back later to go over this with you, Betty. Just in the meantime, do the best you can. Would you follow me, please?
Sure.
Just have a seat here. I'll be back shortly.
Uh-oh. Personnel manager. This ain't gonna be good. So I know probably some of you right off the bat are thinking, okay, so this is 1950s, and so this guy's probably going to have a little bit of outdated maybe views or opinions on women in the workforce. And so let's just kind of see where this goes, and we'll see what it's interesting.
Well, Mr. Bradshaw, what's on your mind?
Bearings inspector.
She's a good one, too. Just look at that record.
Okay, now, Walt, you've had your little joke. Give her to somebody else. I ask for a man.
Ooh, he wants
We
a
don't
man.
have a man with her qualifications. Seriously, Brad, if you treat her right, she might make you a darn good employee.
What do you mean, treat her right?
Get that chip off your shoulder.
Ooh.
What's wrong with her?
She's a woman, isn't she?
Does anybody else besides me Oh, I lost my track. Oh, does anybody else think this kind of looks like a little bit like maybe Augie RFC? Maybe this was his grandpa or something. You know, I get tickled at all these young men online that have this this attitude of how women, I guess, have the cooties or something. I don't know, and they don't want anything to do with them. I'm gonna tell you something. I love hanging out with women and spending time with them. Primarily my wife, of course, but I've got several lifelong friends of mine that are women, and we laugh and joke and have a good time. It's not the end of the world. Let's see here. Orson says, Riveter, there's a great sketch from the UK called Women Know Your Place. It's based on these type of educational films. Harry Enfield is the comedian. Okay, I'll have to check that out, Orson. But anyway, I just kind of found it interesting. I kind of thought, this guy kind of looked like Augie. Let's just see here if, let me do this right quick. And let's go over here and let me see if I can find a picture. Images, Augie RFC. Here we go. So I wish there was a way. Okay, so let's see here. If I bring this up here. Okay, so here's Augie, right? I'll see if I can open this image in a new tab. Here we go. So that's Augie, right? And that's the dude. What do you think, guys? Do you think does that look like Augie? Do you think maybe that's maybe in the same? Do you think that's maybe in the same? I think they could be related. This is probably Augie's granddad or something. Oh God. Oh Lord. Oh Lord Jesus. Anyway, let's listen to what this guy has to say here.
Oh, wait a minute. You got a lot of women in your department. What's wrong with one more?
Did you ever hear of the straw that broke the camel's back?
They're good workers. Accurate, quick to catch mistakes, a lot of patience.
Yeah, but that comes out of books. I work with them, mister. I know what happens.
What does happen?
It's a long story.
Come on
Okay.
now, tell me.
Yeah.
What does happen? Maybe I've been misinformed.
Not so long ago, you sent me a girl by the name of Myrtle Malloy.
Myrtle Malloy. Oh, these made-up names that they have. It's just, oh, Jesus. Myrtle Malloy.
Remember?
I remember.
As per her qualifications, I assigned her to an inspection bench. Well, in a matter of days, that bench looked more like her dressing table. And then came the day when... Joe, will you take your stuff back to table 9? That'll be your bench for the time being.
Okay, Chief.
Myrtle, we're moving you to table number 10.
Is something wrong, Mr. Bradshaw?
No, nothing's wrong. We just need this space for something else.
Well, I sure hate to give it up. It's been a nice place to work. The
Uh-oh.
light's good here, and it's nicely situated right in the middle of things. I just begun to feel at home.
Well, I'm sorry, Myrtle, but table 10 will have to be your work area for the time being.
You mean there's liable to be another change?
There's always that possibility.
Well, I certainly hope I'm not moved every other day.
Well,
Ma'am?
wow. Jesus. Sexual harassment. Come on now, Abby. How's that sexual harassment? Oh, poor Augie's grandpa.
No trouble at all. Tell him what you want and he does it. But with Myrtle, a little move is a big production.
Well, yeah, of
Okay,
course it
okay.
is.
Now, wait a minute. You asked me, now let me tell you. Now, here's another problem.
Oh, Mr. Bradshaw, I wanted to tell you that the date is set for my marriage. I'll be leaving soon.
Oh,
Marriage?
awesome.
I thought you just got engaged.
Well, I told you about it 6 months ago.
6
we were only
months
waiting
ago.
till we could find a place to live.
6 months ago? Oh, brother. Well, how soon are you leaving?
Well, the end of next week.
Well, that'll really put us in a bind around here. It takes time to break in a relief girl.
Yes, I know it does. I wonder.
Why didn't you say something? I didn't realize you were getting married right away.
She told you 6 months ago, you yahoo. See? Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Bradshaw, but I really thought you knew. We've all been talking about it.
Okay, Brad, but how many blushing brides do you have? Besides, what's all this got to do with Dolly, the new girl? She's already married. And
See, problem solved.
she's a qualified bearings inspector.
You know what I was doing when this new girl came in a few minutes ago?
No.
I was trying to cope with one of the biggest problems of all, Walt. Now, in your books, it comes under the general heading of absenteeism among women
Absentee.
employees.
Uh-oh.
Yesterday, I spent an hour and a half teaching one of our girls what she needed to know in order to start on the oscilloscope today. This morning, she isn't here, so I had to use somebody else. I don't think the girl we got on it now ever pick it up, so I'll probably have to find somebody else.
Question. All these things you've been talking about, marriage, absenteeism, personality problems, aren't they really just a part of life?
Part of a woman's life, maybe. But I can remember the good old days when there were all men in my department, and we didn't have these problems.
I wonder, he's really fixated having all men in his department, right? I'm kind of wondering. I wonder if this guy might be a little bit, what shall I say? Back then they would have called it confused.
You didn't have the production output you've got now either. Look, Brad, you've got a new bearings inspector who
Yes.
happens to be a woman. You
Yes.
need someone, and there isn't a man available. It seems to me that whether the gal adds up to trouble or not is pretty much up to you.
So the question is, what is Brad's trouble? So at this point, you know, they would have kicked it off over to the class, and they'd had a big discussion. Yeah, come on in, Abby. I'm in the podcast. They're just hop in the waiting room. I'll be glad to drag you up. We'll be glad. We'll talk about this. I'd love to talk with. Yeah, that's a pretty good picture, Augie, too, Abby. Let's see here. Let me see. I'll bring that up on the screen here. Abby sent this in. Yeah, that's Augie. All right. Bless his heart. But yeah, that, and I'm sure all of you guys can remember. And maybe some of you guys are still in school or whatever. They'd always show these type of films, right? They always show these where they're just over exaggerated, over dramatized things. But I just thought it was kind of funny, quite honestly, that they had that type of stuff. Let's see here. I had another one. Let me find it here. Oh yeah, this one here. This one here is pretty good too. Now, I want to warn you guys a little bit on this one. Let me get back up here. Right. Okay. Let's see here. So this next one we're going to take out or talk about or watch here a little bit. It's a little bit longer, but This one's from 1957, so this one's a little bit older. Okay, but it's still dealing with relationships, I guess. So this one, this next was not a workplace relationship. It's a well, it's anyway. We'll just I'll just let it explain itself. I think it's probably the best thing to do.
Mary, wait, please, Mary. I'm sorry, Mary.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord Jesus, what has he done?
Mary, is that you, dear?
Yes, Mother.
Well, hang on a second. We've got the lovely Miss Blackbird here going to join us. How we doing, Miss Blackbird?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Lit.
So,
Awesome.
so what do you think was the problem with what was the dude's name? Brad. What do you think Brad's problem was?
Oh, of course it was a Brad. I mean, he just doesn't understand that there's like life outside of work. You know what I'm saying? But these damn women getting pregnant, and having a life and stuff. Shoot, I can't.
It's kind of interesting to me is that when I was working in K-12, and I did it for like 12, 13 years, and the majority of the teachers, of course, were female, and of course, you would have teachers, and a lot of them were younger teachers, right? So they were either getting married or they were having children or whatever. So there was absenteeism, right? That because that's just part of life, like you said, it occurs or whatever, right? But
Wild, yeah.
yeah, the funniest thing I ever saw was we had this male teacher, and his wife gave birth, okay, and he took maternity leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is, and that was such a foreign concept to me that, for a man to take maternity leave, because it's like he didn't give birth, right? He was not the person that,
You're just old, Riveter. That's what it is.
I know I'm old, but
I can understand like half maternity leave, like something where like the first month or so because obviously sleep and all that stuff comes into play,
sure.
but I don't think like a full maternity leave would make sense in my opinion.
Well, now I'll say this, that when me and my wife had children, I saved up my vacation time, right? And I took when my child was born, my first son, I took 2 weeks of vacation time because new parents.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we had to, and so I understand, being there and helping, your wife, and I get all that, right? But I just didn't call it maternity leave. I just said it was vacation, right?
You're like, it wasn't a vacation. I just had to be there and be a dad.
Yeah, I mean, I changed
sure, for sure.
diapers and and all that kind of stuff. Got up at night. Well, I didn't get up as much during the night because, of course, I wasn't able to nurse. My
Right,
wife
right.
had to, yeah, but but I still, I would get up and like he was real fussy. He didn't want to sleep very much. But I would get up a lot of nights just let my wife rest because she was just so tired.
Yeah,
Eventually,
because I can imagine like after like the second and third, or I'm not too sure how many kids you have. Like,
I've got
especially
two.
the first time. Yeah, the first time you got to get used to that. Like
Oh,
at least like somewhat routine that you're developing. So
oh
it is
yeah,
a lot of learning.
yeah, 100%, 100%. But I kind of find it amusing that I guess on one aspect, we got this guy Brad here. Now you have to remember this was in 1959, right? Where back then it was still a very much a quote man's world, if as you were, right?
Oh yeah.
But it was funny to me to listen to this personnel person or HR, if you will, sit there and tell the guy, say, listen, trying to give him a different way, a perspective of looking at things, to realize maybe the issue really wasn't with his employees. The issue was with him and how he was managing his employees, right?
Wow, a
And
bad manager. Who would have ever saw that as a
no,
possibility?
I don't think
No, no,
Brad
no.
was.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't think Brad was necessarily a bad manager. I think it was more of he just, you know, he just looked at
Perception.
well, yeah, he just looked at it as men were less complicated, right? Because back then, men definitely were not taking time off to get married. They definitely were not taking time off for children being born and things like that, right? They just showed up and they worked, right? Um, that's just the way it was. Working stiffs back then, they didn't take these 2 week holidays to go on honeymoons and stuff, right? Because they couldn't afford it. They were working stiffs. So they would get married like on a Saturday or something, and they'd have that Saturday evening and Sunday they might go stay at a hotel or something, and then they would Monday they're back at working again. I mean that was the way. Hell,
Yeah.
that was the way it was when me and my wife got married.
I was gonna say,
Um,
still a lot of people do that stuff. That's why doing something like a cruise or something where you're just like it's a week, you bang it out, everybody's kind of
yeah,
having a good time and you're done. Like that's the way to do it, honestly. Like don't spend all this money on like you're never gonna. It's just so dumb. Like I'm one of 10 siblings, so like I've seen it done every which way possible, and
yeah,
it's the most sometimes. But I think that overall, like the HR person was pretty I wouldn't say progressive, but pretty like pretty ahead of his like time, as far as like, hey, why don't you think of it like not just on a one-on-one basis, like think of it outside of that, especially because like as a man, men are never gonna fully understand women and vice versa. So it is super interesting. He kind of was like, don't think of it so black and white or women all this and that. So I thought it was interesting,
yeah.
even for then.
I 100% agree, and I would say, yeah, he was. I would say he was progressive for the time. Not like I say, this was in 1959 when this was filmed. So back then, I would say, yeah, he was pretty progressive, and it was I guess kind of refreshing to see maybe in some aspects. I mean, I think there's some things if we went back to the old ways would be good, but I also think there's some of the things that from our more modern ideologies um, are a
Yeah,
lot
everything
better
has its
too.
evolution for sure.
Sure.
I would, what I'd love to like review with you sometime is like the old like Mad commercials because some of those are so out of touch and it's so hilarious.
Oh
Even for
yeah.
then, it's just so freaking funny, man.
You're talking about when you talk about Mad, you're talking about like Mad Libs or
Anti-drug.
I'm
No, the
sorry.
anti-drug one, like the drug campaign.
Oh, okay. Mother's okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like this is your brain, or this is your what is it? This is your brain, and then this is your brain on drugs. Where they cracked the egg into the skillet and fried it.
Oh my God.
Right? That type of
Or the
stuff is
one
what
that
you're
was like,
talking about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's
Okay.
ones that are from like the 90s and like 80s that are even significantly more cringe, but Eddie Burback did like a bunch of like coverage on it and like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how bad they were. And I was like, it's so insane because they didn't do any good. Like, if anything, they kind of promoted it more than anything. But it's
Well,
super interesting to like look
yeah.
back
Okay.
and see like
Okay.
perspectives of that stuff.
I'll put that in my wheelhouse. I know back in the '80s, I always found it comical about um, what do you call it, the drugs or the anti-drug, uh, PSAs and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I mean, even today, if you see some of the ones about vaping, I mean, some of them are
Yeah.
so cringy.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
The ones that I found really comical back then was like you would get a rock star of some kind, right? That was involved in some sort of drug activity or drunk driving incident or something like that, right?
Oh my
And
God,
and
yeah.
as part of their sentencing agreement, whatever, they would have to come on here and they say, I'm such and such, and don't drink and drive or don't do whatever else, right? Those were, I always thought, like, golly, how stupid can you be?
But when I was in high school, they had like full on like reenactments of the scenes, and it was so stressful to watch. Like even if it was like pre-recorded stuff, like, and I know
Yeah.
at like public school, some of them would perform it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
oh no, 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 no. Like, like there's a way to you don't have to be so severe on either side, but I see everybody saying that Nerdy John said since Andrew Tate was banned, Riverter is the new face of the alpha male movement.
Oh shit.
Boy, babe.
No, no.
Look, I was
Listen.
banned many moons ago off of off of Facebook and Instagram, and I didn't even do anything. I was just trying to produce podcasts, and I got banned for no reason. So Andrew Tate is definitely not a special case.
Listen, I have enough problem with angry women after me. I don't need the monicum of Andrew Tate hung around my neck. Thank you, Nerdy John.
You got angry women. Who are you dealing with angry women?
Oh,
If it's your wife, then that's a different situation.
no. You didn't see that this morning? I woke up
Uh,
to.
no, it's not that same girl that keeps tagging you and John and stuff, right?
Oh, girl, yes. I woke up this
Oh.
morning.
What's her name?
and
God, it's such an ununattractive name. I'm sorry, it's just not a good name.
Miss Genevieve Simmons. She
Oh,
she took a screenshot of my Instagram channel
oh,
or
I
page
can't.
that I don't even use. Right? I mean, it's just there, but I don't even use it.
Yeah.
She took a screenshot of that, and then she put some text over it, and she was saying that I was stalking her on Instagram, and she was calling for people to report me, and saying that
Yeah, y'all want to get mad at some real censorship? Go at Genevieve. She's the one causing censorship, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then to top it all off, she said that if something happens to me, you know who to blame.
What?
Yeah, I'm not serious. I'm not
Dang,
joking.
Team YouTube. Tweet at Team YouTube. Hello.
No, I'm not. No, listen. The girl, I think it's quite obvious that she's
living with her grandma.
Well, she's mentally unhinged, and
Yeah.
I think that she probably just needs a little help in that department, and I'm hoping that she can, I know she lives over in the UK, and I know they got, socialized health care over there. So even if she doesn't have the finances, she should still be able to get help. And I hope she does get it, because the problem is she is tagging some people that are a lot more outspoken and aggressive in their coverage of things than what I am. I just kind of had a little fun, and moved on. But
oh man, yeah.
she's going after people like Sin, and she's tagged. She's tagged a whole lot of people. I mean, she's still tagging Nerdy John and Chris the Narc, and
John. Maybe she really wants you, John. Maybe that's what it is, man.
That
She just
might
wants
be
you.
it. Yeah, she might be after Nerdy John. She may be wanting some of that,
Hey, Nerdy John's a catch, man.
Well, it could be too that maybe she's wanting to take him from being a selfish lover into a selfless lover. So,
Hey, if anybody's gonna be the crazy kind to be in a poly relationship, I guess she's the one to go, man.
oh, 100%, 100%.
Oh shoot.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
no, definitely.
I appreciate the conversation today. You have a great weekend, hon, and
You too.
call in again sometime. All right.
For sure. I'll talk to you
All
later.
right. Take care.
Bye.
So anyway, that, you guys, was the lovely Miss Abby Blackbird. If you're not following her out there on the socials, you ought to. She's good people. I like her. She's fun. She's entertaining. She doesn't take things too serious. So anyway, let's get back into our other video we were watching, and do some more, because let's get into this. Here we go. I'll tell Matt that you're good people. No problem, Abby. So I wonder what happened between these two people. Because they, nowadays, if a woman was crying and carrying on like this, whatever, everybody would automatically be assuming the worst, right?
Did you have a nice time, dear?
Very nice, thanks.
Well, you don't look much like a girl who's been out having a wonderful evening.
Oh, Mom.
No, here. Oh, what's the matter, dear?
Uh-oh.
Do you remember when you told me that I might have such strong feelings about a boy that it might be hard for me to decide what's right to do?
Uh-oh.
Yes, I remember, but why?
Well, it was something like that tonight with Jeff. You know, I like him an awful lot, and we have such fun at dances.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight, the feeling between us kept getting stronger and stronger.
Oh, that old black magic.
On our way home, we stopped and parked.
Uh-oh. Guys, they went to the submarine races.
And things seemed to happen. Too we nearly... Well, it was so close. Suddenly I realized what we were about to do. I asked Jeff to take me home.
Oh, so she sent Jeff home with a bad case of the old blue balls, did she? Shame on her.
I guess he felt ashamed, too. He said he was sorry, that it was his fault.
Do you think it was his fault?
Oh, Mother, I don't know what to think. I'm so mixed up. I don't know whether I even want to go out with Jeff again.
You know, dear, I was young once, too.
Uh-oh.
Perhaps I can understand something of what you feel. First, well, it all seems quite a lark.
A lark?
You like someone, he likes you. Everything is fun and affection.
Fun and affection.
Then, all at once, you can find yourself in a situation where your physical urges fight against your reason.
Ooh.
Then...
Got that tingling sensation down there in the Bermuda Triangle, did we?
Those fine thoughts of love and affection can suddenly get twisted.
Mother, is it wrong to feel warm and affectionate when you're with a boy you really like?
Yes, it is. You will burn and go to hell. Now, you're not supposed to be doing none of that hanky-panky and stuff until you get married. Don't want you burn and go into hell. Shit.
No, dear, it is not wrong. Because this feeling can grow into a love that will last. It's the way happy marriages are built. But, Mary, if these strong feelings lead you into behaving unwisely...
Ooh, in other words, she's saying, keep that aspirin between your knees, darling.
Well, the outcome can be guilt and frustration. And these are the things that can spoil the chance of your finding the very love that you're looking for.
Then, Mother, how do you...
Come here, dear.
Uh-oh.
In the height of emotion, it's not always easy to stop and think things through.
You know, I was raised Baptist as a young man, and that's why the Baptists told us dancing was a sin. Because you get out there and you start dancing, and then you start rubbing them body parts together, and you start getting all loosey-goosey and electrified. They didn't want you going to the submarine races and letting those emotions get out of control.
But if you'll just slow down the rush and pressure of your feelings a little,
Yeah.
then judgment has a better chance to take hold and guide you away from wrong behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. Wrong behavior. Good Lord. Slow
When you can
down.
rely on judgment rather than emotion to rule your behavior, as you did tonight, then you'll really be grown up. I can help by talking things over with you and giving suggestions, but you'll have to work out your own best way to make emotions work for you and not against you.
There you go. Make emotions work for you and not against you. Well, oh me. So there you go, folks. You have to slow down. You have to figure out a way to get those emotions to work for you and not against you, so that you can be the perfect little incel. And you know that way your hero, Augie, will be always proud of you. Anyway, well, listen, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I appreciate you coming along with me on this journey. I'm going to look into, let's see, I'm going to look into those PSAs on the drug stuff, Abby, like you suggested. Also, I'm going to look into that show you were talking about as well. Women Know Your Place. I'm going to look into that as well there, Orson. Anyway, like I said, anybody I talked to today or talked about today, be it Miss Simmons or Augie, I'm just having fun. I'm just poking a little fun. So that's what these whole things are about. Just having some fun, some yucks, that type of stuff. But listen, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully you guys maybe unplug a little bit this weekend. Maybe go and outside, maybe go out to dinner with some friends, relax, have some good time. But now, a couple of things you do want to kind of keep in touch. I know Salvo Pancakes is going to be doing a live stream commentary thing this afternoon, or this evening rather. I think it's going to start about, I think it's like 9 p.m. I think, or it's either 8 or 9 p.m. Central or Eastern Standard Time on the Deaf Noodles roast show that he's doing. I think Dead on Dave is going to be doing some streaming here this evening as well. And probably more important than both of those is don't forget the Clear as Mud podcast will be streaming live Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, as we are every Sunday. I'm not really for sure what we're going to be talking about, but we haven't really narrowed or nailed down our show yet. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. I'm probably not going to stream again until next week sometime. But I want to say thank you for all my recent subs and stuff. You've got me over 100. I didn't really ever think I would get there, but I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate you spending the time with me today. I appreciate Miss Abby coming in and talking with me. But until then, until next time, you guys have a good day, and we'll see you later.